Morning guys, welcome back to the Builder's Diary, and this is episode 3. So it's Monday morning, up early in the office, just get some things tied up before I go and pay a visit to the site. So this morning I've had to kind of get up and I've had to order some more uniform basically. So one thing I've noticed when I'm doing this blog, when we're going round, that the uniform seems to have disappeared. It's got worn, obviously a bit worn out, whether it's been thrown away and ripped and what have you. So just ordering some uniform this morning. And then we've got a few jobs that I've had to sequence out, so that's part of the project management stage. Just get them planned out, future jobs, so when we first on site on the first day, everything's all planned and we know exactly where we are with it, so we can track whether we're behind, whether we're in front, what's going wrong, what's going right. And that gives us a good snapshot then of what the job should be. So one of the eagle-eyed viewers has spotted a guitar behind me, and they messaged me on Instagram of all places. So this is what I'm getting a bit frustrated about. Obviously you guys are watching the video on YouTube, but you're choosing to message me on Instagram. So obviously you followed me on Instagram first, but yeah, if you could drop the comments below, it helps us massively, you know what I mean? It gives the video a boost and it helps us to bring more content to you. So, but the guitar, so that thing down there, it's basically an old Gibson SG, and it was my dad's. So it was one of the not so many things that was passed on to me when he passed away. So I don't know if you know the story, guys, but obviously my dad passing away suddenly after having the COVID injection, the second one. He had the second injection, and from that day on he just kept saying, I feel like I've aged about 25 years, Rob. And we didn't think anything of it, to be honest. And then one day I just got a phone call that his wife had found him dead in bed. So that's been a massive driving force for me. That's what got me involved in property. Obviously as you do when we have a bereavement, you're quite down in the dumps, and I'm just sitting off work, scrolling the internet, and I spot a book. It was an audio book, and as you know, I'm dyslexic. And the only reason I actually listened to that book was because it had Dad in the title, and it was a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it taught you all about assets, good debt, bad debt, things like that. And it's what got me into property basically, because I knew that I'd been a builder all my life. I'd had an half decent, income out of it. I'd had an half decent life, but I'd lived my life and spent every penny I'd got. So I realised I'd got no pension or nothing, and that boot kind of opened my eyes, and that's why I ended up getting into property. And it's another reason why I want to grow this company now. It's all in the name of my dad, and that guitar's there as a reminder, just to try and push me. Every time I have doubts, every time I feel a bit down in the dumps, every time I'm sitting in this office and feel lonely because it's just me, I look at that guitar and I remember me and my kids and what I want for them, and that's what pushes me forward. But anyway, let's crack on now. We need to get these bits done in the office, and then we can get back on site, just check what's going on. I want to do a tour around all of the sites, just check where we are with them, even though some of them have got no men on at the minute. It's another thing we need to remedy. We need to grow the team, I think, slightly. And then, yeah, get back in this office. Obviously, it was payroll on the 28th, and then the 30th comes, and that is I need to pay all my suppliers. So I need to get back in the office and get that done this afternoon. So just nipped into the stores just to pick up some shovels, pickaxe, a few other bits for the lads. Just on my way up to the job, and just had a message via Monday just to say, any chance you could pick up the few bits for us out the stores on your way up. Now this is something I've got to address. I think we need to be kind of organising this kind of stuff the night before. So or the day before, so understanding what it is we're going to be doing the day after, which is obviously all programmed, it's sequenced. You know, give them a bit of due that this stuff that we're doing is extra work, so it's not been as as programmed as the normal job. But yeah, if we'd already anticipated wanting this stuff, maybe yesterday or last night, it could have been sorted, and obviously then we're not wasting time on the day. So these are the little things that I need to sort out, put in place, get something sorted, so we can up productivity basically. So I want to do all these little fixes first before we actually start growing the company. So as we're growing lean, profitable, systemised company. So we're now on site, just got here to Daisy Bank, and the lads basically can't carry on boarding because we're waiting for the plumber to come and do his first fix for the radiators. So we've got 90% of it boarded now. They're going to go and put some beads on and stuff like that, but we're going to have to start outside. Obviously we've got flagging to do around the outside of it. It's not ideal weather at all, but obviously lads need to work, so they're going to have to drop on that. Last thing I want to do is start another job, obviously, because then we'd have to finish that off before we come back and crack on with this. So again, being held up by plumbers, it's always the case. Honestly, in the last 25-30 years in this industry, the only one trade we've ever had problems with is gas fitters and plumbers. They just, I don't know what it is, they're always mega busy, they always take on too much, but they don't seem to look after the regular customers like us builders. They always go for the money, and they know that you can get a lot more money on a boiler install, but what they don't realise is those customers are one-off customers, you know what I mean? They're not repeats like us, and they never seem to look after us. They always seem to put them in front of us. So, which is good when everything's busy, but when the industry starts to take a nosedive, then they come running back to us. We're going to remember that. So, but I have got a couple of plumbers that are really good. They try and look after us as much as they can, but this time of year, when everyone puts their heating on, it just gets crazy, so you have to bear with them sometimes. Tyler's doing the classic now. Can't find the end of the scrim.
Hey, you got it.
So keep telling him, told him for years, make sure you fold the end of the scrim over. Look at that valley there. You've been eating too many mince pies already, Luke.
Well, look at that.
Hi guys, back in the van now. Just nipped into one of our suppliers, builders merchants. Spoke to the actual manager of the suppliers, and he's just been saying how it's quite slow at the minute. So it's something that I've been warning people about now for probably the last 18 months, that we knew it was coming. As soon as this Labour government got in power, obviously I'm not really that political, I don't really care who's in power, but I do care when they make decisions that obviously affect us in business. So, and they're very anti-business, they don't want small businesses, are you with me? So it was obvious it was going to come, and obviously with the last couple of budgets that we've had, and then just the one we've had recently, it's denting the construction industry. And like I always say, and like I always advocate, the construction industry is the biggest industry in the world, especially if you include the supply chain around it. So if that starts becoming slow, it affects everything, and it's quite worrying. And it's part of the reason why, another reason why I actually got into property and development, because it means that we can almost create our own work. So if it is a little bit slow, it's not the end of the world, because we've got land that we can build on. You know what I mean? We've got properties that we've bought that need refurbing, and that keeps us busy, and it also guarantees the fact that we're going to make some money as well. So you've got to be on the ball with all of this, and you've got to be looking at being proactive and doing things like this in order to create your own work, almost kind of create your own ecosystem. So you feed yourself with work, so you build that structure of companies that kind of feeds each other, you know what I mean? So yeah, but it was bound to happen, and it was obvious that it was going to come, and I've seen it before. Like I said, I've been in this industry a long time, and I've just said to him, I said, yeah, it was like 8 to 10 years ago. We had the same thing, and it just slowed down. And unfortunately, it is needed sometimes, because it weeds out some of the shit companies, some of the people doing bad workmanship, some of the people not looking after the customers, and some of the people that are in it for the short term, for the quick wins to rip people off. So, and people like us that have been around for a long time kind of batten the hatches down, kind of stick with it and get through it all, and then hopefully come out the other side ready for when it picks up again. Just got back into the office, picked up the Post, and in the Post is a copy of YPN, which is Your Property magazine. It's quite an influential magazine and been around in the property industry for years, and guess who's featuring in it? Little old me. Just have a quick look at this. So, just been sent this month's copy, which looks quite colourful, doesn't it, this month? And then if you flick over to one of the middle pages, there's quite a big article about me and my property journey. So, it's not just 2 pages, it's a full 4 pages. So, which is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I've been pushing in property now for, seems like a long time, but it isn't really. It's probably 3 or 4 years since my old man died. And, you know, I'm always trying to get my face out there and get people, you know, to understand what it is that I do. So getting into that magazine is an absolute win. And it's, you know, it's quite a moment for me. Feel, you know, it's quite a lot of pride in the fact that I've obviously done enough to be able to appear in a property magazine. So yeah, it's taken me back a little bit, that has. So absolutely buzzing. So makes it all worth it, doesn't it, when you get recognition for what you're actually doing. Now back in the van, we're just on this way over to look at another job. So this one is a fencing job of all things, so we don't really do a massive amount of this, but we get, this time of year, we get a fair amount of leads on this kind of stuff. So it's not just extensions and new builds and loft conversions that we do. We've pretty much got every trade under one roof, are you with me? So we've got the guys that work for us immediately. They are all multi-skilled lads, are you with me? And then we've got a vast array of subcontractors that we can call upon whenever we need to, you know what I mean? I think I've got nearly 60 odd people on my list now, and that's not 60 strangers, that's 60 people who I've worked with before, who I know and trust, and I know will do a decent job. So yeah, let's go and have a look at this one. The problem is with this one is it's for a landlord, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when you're working for landlords, property investors and what have you, you're generally taking away from that bottom line of their profits. So the reason they've got that property in the first place is to try and make profit from it, to, you know, to build wealth and things like that. So every bit of maintenance or refurb or anything like that that they have done, they want it as cheap as possible because they don't want to deduct from that profit. So, and it's always difficult because obviously we're a building company and we're here to make a profit ourselves, so we can't do the work for nothing. Measured that up, pretty straightforward to be fair. Just one of the fences, one side is blown over and then the other side just wants it replacing, so it's the same as the new one. So just get that quoted now. Wants a tree chopping down as well, which is not something normally we do as a construction company, but while we're there, I've got a chainsaw. So that's me done for Monday. I am absolutely shattered. It's a bit of a weird one today. I feel like I've done so many things, but I also feel like I've kind of achieved nothing and got nothing done, if you know what I mean. That's a contradiction in terms if I've ever heard one. But yeah, Monday done. What time we're on now? It is 8:05. I'm just leaving this office, so it's been a long day. So Catch you tomorrow. Welcome to Tuesday, guys. So Tuesday morning now, got an inspection booked. So obviously you saw in a previous video where we tested the drainage basically up on the bungalow sale that we've got. Wasn't happy with the video, wants to come out and see it. So hopefully everything's all right, you know what I mean? And there isn't any leaks, you know what I mean? When we did it, didn't seem to drop, it was okay. But we'll get out there now. Obviously, he's given us a time slot of AM, which is fucking ridiculous. So we've got to have us waiting round there till he turns up. So we'll go up there now. We'll get it filled up. There's a bit of ducting that he wants replacing with insulated ducting, which we've basically just done a purchase at the tool station. So we'll pick that up on the way, get that done, and then hopefully, shouldn't have to cross my fingers, should he, in the industry? This is ridiculous. I know that all the building regulations have been met and everything's fine, but I'm basically worried in case he's in a bad mood or something, you know what I mean? Or he got out the wrong side of bed. Shouldn't be like that in the building industry, you know what I mean? Building regulations should be set in stone, they should be consistent. Like I've said about this ducting, hundreds of times before, we've used the normal white ducting. Never have I known it needed to be insulated, but I have checked the building regulations and it is a thing, you know what I mean? It's obviously come in Part F with all the new insulation rules that came in not so long ago. So, which is getting crazy, you know what I mean? Fucking every tiny little thing has to be insulated at the minute. And the fact that we're held to ransom by the companies that make the insulation is crazy. Like that ducting, for instance, a normal length of ducting, just white, whether it's made of PVC, I don't know, but white plastic ducting is like, what, 5-10 quid for a 10 metre length. The insulated foil stuff is 55 quid for a 10 metre length. This just actually proves how incompetent and unorganised the council are. So when I booked the inspection, I said to him, you need to give me a ring and give me some notice as I know when to get it filled up for you, and I can, you know, I need to get up there and get it filled up. Right, I'll give you a ring in the morning. So I'm just on my way up there now. It's what, 8:15, and I've just had a call from him. Got an inspection booked this morning. I'll be up there for about 8:45. It's like, I asked you to give me some notice as I can think. Yeah, we are doing. It's like, I've told you it takes about, don't know, half an hour to fill the drainage up. So, you know, you wanted it filled and standing for an hour. So you need to give me an hour and a half's notice at least. But no, they're turning up now. So I'm literally in a rush now to grab this ducting quickly, get it fitted, get it all filled up, so as you can come and inspect. Honestly, if they were a business, they would go bump straight away. Building inspector's now been all passed off. Now, it was a different inspector this time, so that's the third inspector we've had on this job. So, but he was really good, you know what I mean? Dead pleasant, come out, did what he needed to do, saw the inspection, saw the drain off, job done. So hopefully now we can get a certificate issued on this one and we can get it through conveyancing and all done and dusted. Bit of dinner whilst driving. Probably get told off for that on YouTube, but sometimes we have to do these stuff. So I've just been the chiropractors, just nipped in there in my lunch hour, just been readjusted. So that's one thing that this industry does to you. So obviously you work in the building industry, you're lifting all the time, heavy stuff all over the place, and takes its toll on your body obviously. So I've pretty much got bad back, bad knees, bad hands, you name it, it suffers. So we're now off up to just meet the plumber. We've actually got a plumber on site this afternoon, so go up and meet him, get sorted, get first fix, and then we can carry on with the plastering. So back here over at Daisy Bank now, just ready to meet the plumber. So lads have dropped outside. They're doing some paving slabs while we're just waiting to get these pipes in. So sometimes you have to kind of readjust a little bit just so as you can try and slot in, and obviously you don't want to keep the lads standing, so just have to find them some work outside while we're waiting for, you know, whatever we need. Like in this instance it's the plumber.
About a bit like thing, no, like say.
You're doing discussing the level of the paving.
No, we're working out how many bricks we're going to need, build the step up.
Are you building step?
Yeah.
So now back in the office and open the mail, and guess what we've got? A fucking council tax summons. So when you get into property, you'll have a major issue with the council. Now, I don't care who you are, when you start buying and selling and building properties, you've got to deal with the council a lot, with council tax, with planning permission, with, you know, building regulation, all that kind of stuff. And the council tax are by far the worst. They could not run a piss up in a brewery, pardon the French, YouTube, but I'm not even kidding you. Now, I know for a fact that council tax is up to date, but they're saying we are 700 quid in arrears, basically. So, and they're going to issue a summons if we don't pay it. I will have to get onto the phone now. Obviously, it's too late now. What time are we on now? It's 20 to 5, so they'll be closed. They'll be long gone. They'll be, you know what I mean, 3 o'clock, and they will start winding down at the council. So I'll have to ring them tomorrow, and I can guarantee you on that phone call tomorrow that it'll be their mistake. We've had exactly the same with another property about 2 weeks ago. So, and it's getting, honestly, it gets frustrating because you think you've dealt with one and you've sorted it out, and then you have to start dealing with another one. Why they can't have some kind of banding in council tax for landlords or property investors, people that own multiple properties? I know why they don't do it, because they know that they won't make as much money that way, you know what I mean? They can't penalise people and basically bully boy people. This letter is basically telling me we're going to go to court, threatening to lock me up and all sorts over a missed council tax payment. Now imagine me Mrs Jones down the road, who's really struggling to feed a family, you know, struggling to put electric in a meter and stuff like that, and getting a letter like that from the council threatening to lock you up and put you in prison. Honestly, Stoke-on-Trent City Council, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Honestly, and I'm not holding back on that one. I will sort it out tomorrow, but I am getting absolutely fed up of it now. Morning guys, Wednesday. So, up early, as you can see, still dark out there. So, in this office, just got a mountain of paperwork to sort out this morning. So, council tax stuff, HMRC stuff, utilities that need paying for properties, and then some direct debits that need sorting out, need to get transferred into a new account, and then mountains and mountains of just admin that needs doing. Definitely need someone on that side of the desk now. So let's crack on with it. So Ben's just nipped over now, stores, just forget the whacker and a few other bits, mixer and what have you. So got to put some kind of system in place for this place pretty much over the next couple of weeks. So what I want to do is have a sheet where every item that we've got, every tool, every bit of stock, every material, bits of materials we've got down there, I'm going to get it on a list, and the lads are going to sign for it when they come and get it, so I know exactly where it is, so as I can put my hand on any piece of plant or anything like that at any one time. And then materials, obviously, if we've got things like wall starters, bags of cement, bits and bobs down there, and they go in and buying it from a builder's merchant. Obviously, if you've only got to take one look at the list, which is on our CRM, which you've got access to via their phones, they'll know whether we've got it in stock here, so they don't have to go and buy it. We've just done an interview with another lad, so he's basically a plasterer, so that's his main trade, but he's quite happy to jump in with other trades as well, which is what we need. He's kind of multi-skilled a little bit. He'll do a bit of groundworks, do a bit of roofing, do bits and bobs of other stuff, so which is exactly what we need within Greenwood, you know, because we're not a massive company. Might not always have plastering for him to do, are you with me? So we need him to be able to just drop in with the other lads kind of thing. So he seems ideal, to be honest. So what we're going to do is give him a start on a probationary period and just see how he goes, basically. See if he fits in with the team, because culture's more important to me than anything, are you with me? He's got to fit in with the team. He's not got to bring the rest of the lads down, you know what I mean, and bring a bad culture to this company. I know we're a small company, but it doesn't take much for one bad egg to infiltrate for it to just all go to shit, basically. So yeah, he seemed really good. Interviewed him. Now I've just got to nip over to property not far from here really, so about 10 minutes away, that we've got a price, a small extension. So these customers have been a bit evasive. We normally try and qualify everyone from the office basically when they come through to our system, so we'll make a phone call and try and qualify them. It seems like they're very interested in price, and that's it basically. We've had a Zoom call this morning with web developers who are building a program, like a piece of software for builders in the UK. There's a lot of building software out there, project management and pricing and stuff like that, but it's all based in Australia and America, and there's a massive hole in the market at the minute for a UK-based software company for within construction with project management, pricing, you know, working out costs and things like that. We need something that does all of it in one go, because at the minute we're using 3 separate pieces of software that don't really talk to one another. So we've just pulled up outside a prospective customer's house just to give them a quote for an extension. So we'll go in now, we'll do that, get back to the office and try and get it typed up. So been in and seen them, discussed the extension idea that they've got. Quite nice people, but classic examples of kind of not the right customer, people that you need to be wary of. All they were concerned about was price. Now, you know what I mean, it was everything, yeah, how can we make it slightly cheaper? Can we do this? Can we not do the structural elements as it can make it cheaper? And it's kind of, we try and qualify our customers early on, so the second they come over to us. So pretty much when they come to us, they came to us via a web form on our website. She filled in, which is lands in our CRM automatically. So the first thing I do is get in touch with to arrange like a visit or to basically qualify that customer. So we asked a string of questions that we want specific answers to, and that kind of qualifies them, but sometimes it's difficult, so sometimes you still end up going out and meeting the customer, which we've just done. So, and like I've said, what we will do with that customer, because they're in a really good area, you know what I mean, that's normally one of the qualification processes. What area are you in? Because that'll set a certain type of demographic. They're in a really good area, so they've got disposable income to spend, but all they kept talking about was price, you know what I mean, keeping it as cheap as possible. So we will move forward with that, but we'll keep a strict eye on it, are you with me? We won't be quoting it cheaply to try and win the work, because there's no point doing the work, are you with me? So, but when we get back on our CRM, those customers will be marked with a particular mark by them, a rating basically. We rate all of our customers, which is crazy, you know what I mean? You'd think it would be the other way around, which it should be, you know what I mean? People should rate builders. But yeah, so with those now, we'll basically, I'll probably not hear from them. I've given them a rough ballpark figure, which I hate doing because it sets false expectations till we can actually price the job, but they don't want to get drawings done because they don't want to spend money if they can't afford to actually do the job, and so on and so on. So yeah, get back to the office now. That one's now tied up. It'll be put in the next box in our CRM, so we know where we are with that one, and we can get back now and just get on with the rest of the day's tasks. One of them includes trying to contact the council to sort out this council tax fiasco. So I've already tried this morning, but I was on hold for over 45 minutes and didn't get through, and had to obviously come out and price this job. So let's get back and sort that. So finally managed to get through to the council to sort this issue out with the council tax. Now, the woman on the other end of the line just had an absolutely stinking attitude from the second she picked up the phone. Kept telling me I was talking over her and stuff like that. But all I did was I maintained kind of niceness. Are you with me? I played her at her own game. She was expecting me to get all irate, you know what I mean? I appreciate that they must get some stick, you know what I mean? On these calls they probably get some shit off people, you know what I mean? Because it's council tax, in my opinion, is a load of bollocks. Are you with me? But I appreciate that. But she had an attitude from the second she picked up the phone, before she even spoke to me. So I made a point of being very nice, particularly nice. Are you with me? Please and thank you. Just keeping a nice tone and stuff like that, and playing her at her own game basically. She was expecting me to get irate and have a go over something, and then that gave her the perfect opportunity to end the call, put the phone down. So I really don't get some people, you know what I mean? You should treat people as they treat you. Fair enough, she probably gets a lot of shit, a lot of stick, but you know what I mean? I was perfectly pleasant with her, you know what I mean? Answered the phone, said, look, we've got this issue, Duck, I just need to get it sorted out. Is there any way you can help at all? And stuff like that. Told her I really struggle with the website because it keeps crashing, or we get error codes and stuff like that. And yeah, eventually we got it sorted out, but an absolutely stinking attitude all the way through. So, but at least it's sorted now. So, to say it's been a day of boring, mind-numbing admin is an understatement. So it's been like our week, to be fair. So I've just dealt, obviously, with this council tax issue. We've also dealt with an issue on a credit agreement that we've got. Basically, apparently a direct debit's been missed, even though there's a direct debit mandate set up. So there's a missed payment somewhere, God knows where. I've literally just been on the phone to try and sort it out for nearly an hour and 3/4. So I've made an official complaint and all sorts, gone to the financial ombudsman, and I think I've finally just sorted it out. So these are the kind of issues that you're constantly dealing with, and obviously we've normally got someone sitting in this desk behind me to try and deal with these admin issues, but we haven't got anyone at the minute and we need to recruit. So it's been a bit of a nightmare just recently. Obviously earlier on in the week we had the payroll, and then obviously end of the month pay, so we have to pay all our materials bills, like for just all the builders merchants that we use, all the suppliers. So obviously, as you can appreciate, paying all that money out in one go, I bet there's best part of 20 to 25 grand all gone out over the space of a couple of days. So yeah, that's bad for cash flow, obviously. So I'd love to stagger them so they go out like individually throughout the month, but obviously your accounts become due on the 30th of each month, so they have to be paid. Obviously we've got a credit card that's Capital on Tap, it's called, so that's pretty much ridiculous credit facility. I think we've got a 70 grand limit, quite a lot of the time we'll use that to pay our accounts, and then that gives us another 30 days. So in theory we could get 90 days credit on our materials accounts, because if we buy something at the beginning of the month, it's then paid on the 30th of the following month, so that's nearly 2 months, and then we get another 30 days via this credit card. So that does help with cash flow. But obviously, yeah, imagine if we were paying the lads weekly as well. So years ago we used to pay them weekly, then we moved to fortnightly, and now we're on monthly. It's taken me ages to get the lads to agree to that, and it's always a bit of a sticking point when we recruit and we bring new people in, but we're not moving from it because it works for us now. So, but yeah, it's been one of them days, and I'll be glad today to shut that door and finally just, yeah, give up today. Not give up, but yeah, have it done with. So, where are we now? We're like 20 to 4. So I've got a few final things to sort out, a few utility bills to pay for properties and what have you. I've got to make a payment. I've just had an appointment cancelled, so that gives me a bit more time in here. Lads are absolutely cracking on at the minute, putting the paving slabs down on Daisy Bank. I'll cut to that in a minute. But yeah, it's just been one of them weeks. You know, you're paying out all that money, you're dealing with all these people. Generally, these people that you deal with on the phone are dealing with people all the time, so they've generally got a bad attitude. Apart from the lady I've just spoke to at the finance company, she was pretty good, to be fair. But yeah, one of them days.
Right, YouTube, what was happening is, doing some slapping. That's what's happening, mate.
So that's me done for the day, guys. I'm whacked. It's gone dark again. So I was in here when it was dark, and I'm leaving when it was dark. I'll see you tomorrow. So we're back, and it's Thursday morning. So still dark out there, look. Crap time of year, and it's in this industry. But if we don't go and earn some pennies, we don't have any to play with, do we? Or to invest, more importantly. So yeah, I'm on site today. Plumber's up there doing the radiators, but he just hasn't got the time to first fix all the hot and cold and stuff for the kitchen. So unfortunately that's now landed on me or one of the lads. The lads are way too busy putting the paving down, skimming the walls and stuff like that. So just going to lend a hand on site today. I know you're all screaming at me, telling me I need to do the more important tasks, but it's one of them. It needs must sometimes, you know what I mean? You've got to move things forward. Sometimes you just have to get your hands dirty. So I've already been out this morning. I've nipped over to the Penkel job, lease option, just to get an idea of what we need now to finish that. I've had a look on the software, so I've got a good idea, but just wanted to have a look and just make sure there weren't any other little bits, like snagging bits that needed doing to get it finished. Because obviously we were selling that, but we've been messed about ridiculously. So I've just decided last night, took an executive decision after having another council tax bill for it and electricity bill. Obviously it's standing empty at the moment, it's been empty for a couple of weeks. Just decided, get it rented out, we'll put some furniture in it, rent it out, and just go with the option. Basically we're going to keep it, because I can't be doing with messing about. You know, I had plenty of people interested in it, but because of this time of year, so it's rolling on for Christmas and stuff like that, everyone goes in wind down mode. I just don't get it, I don't. So, but yeah, it's one of them things, you know what I mean? It's not gone as I thought it would. So just decided to keep it. It's not the biggest loss. Well, it isn't a loss. In fact, it was a loss to sell it, but we needed that little bit of money to inject into the next project while we're waiting for the sale of this bungalow. So if anything, it'll just hold us up slightly, but we're going to make far more money by actually keeping that option. So, because we were going to sell it at 30k, but if we keep it over the 5 years, we're potentially going to make about 60k. So there you go. just speaks for itself, doesn't it? Yeah, it's going to take time, but it will pay out more. So, and then someone asked the other day, why am I still in my scuffs if we're making these kind of figures back off property? Now, property is a very slow burner, so you don't see any income straight away, and anyone that tells you can be financially free in fucking 30 days or whatever is absolutely spouting shit. So, sorry for the language. But yeah, it's, you know what I mean? My particular case is I don't see any of the money for 5 years. Every little penny that comes back off it is going back into the company, reinvested to buy more property, buy more land, build more builds. And then in 5 years, that's when we'll start looking at what we're going to do with the portfolio or the company, the amount of money that's in that company, because it's a totally separate company. So that answers your question, mate. Back in the van. Hey, so on his way now up to this job. It's raining as usual, so it's very much looking like the lads won't be able to do the paving outside. So it looks like it's all hands on deck inside, so it might be a chance that I'll just do this plumbing work and then I'll be able to get back into the office and leave the lads to the skimming. Something I wanted to talk about very quickly while I'm here is I've just seen a bit of a video online of Andy Burnham, I think he's still the Manchester Mayor, talking about apprenticeships and how he believes that the government have got it massively wrong, pushing everyone into university education and not utilising apprenticeships basically. Now, we've all been saying this for years, you know what I mean? The fact that they keep pushing up the minimum wage in order to win votes more than anything, not to look after people, because they push the minimum wage up and then they'll do like backdoor taxing where they'll freeze thresholds and stuff like that, so they'll get the money that way. But the fact that they're pushing up the minimum wage means that it costs companies an absolute arm and a leg to take an apprentice on, whereas it's always been the fact that apprentice is not going to earn you any money first off, because they're there to learn. So, you know what I mean, you kind of, it cripples a company. And with the fact that we're going through what we're going through at the minute with the government, with the taxation being, you know what I mean, probably the highest in the world at the moment, some of the taxation that we're facing, how can they push apprenticeships? The whole system needs looking at. And yes, I do agree with them that, you know what I mean, we need more people in the construction industry. Let's face it, this industry is the backbone of the UK. It's one of the biggest industries, and I'll always say that. People, you know, people give it that, you know what I mean? Oh, it's the biggest industry. Yeah, it is though. That it's pretty much fact. The industry with the supply chain around it is huge. So if you start interrupting this industry, that's a knock-on effect with everything. So yeah, I agree with it. They need to bring in more apprentices, to the point where every lad that you will see on this site when I get there will be they came to me as an apprentice and they've stayed with me. So I believe in it massively, you know what I mean? You can train your lads up how you want them to work, you know, what kind of culture you want them to hold within your company. So yeah, they're right, but in order to do it, the same as the planning system, it needs an overhaul. It needs to go back to the bare bones, and they need to work something out, or they need to go back to how they used to do it. But the problem is with that is the system around it, so, you know, taxation, laws, legislation, building regulations, all of that that's around it has massively changed since how we used to do it years back when I started, you know, in the early 90s. So, as you can see, absolutely pissing it down. So the lads were getting on with this patio down here. I'll show you quickly in a minute. They've had to drop inside. I've basically let them start skimming. We're not quite ready yet. We're basically waiting on the plumber just to finish his first fix for his radiators. So, and he was supposed to be here this morning. Guess what? Get a text. Can I come tomorrow instead? I just need to finish the job off. Yeah, never mind my job then. You know, mine will just wait for you. So, but yeah, this is what we have in the UK basically. You're governed by the weather, especially at this time of year. But I'll show you this patio very quickly. Basically what we've done is, where this extension was, this was all patio, so it's all been taken up. I think it's Indian stone or something, Yorkshire stone. So obviously we've cut back in from there. Those weren't cleaning up because they were existing, so we'll get some acid on those, just give them a quick clean. And then we've put like a pea shingle kind of gap there so as we don't get any water hitting the brickwork and travelling up. Obviously we've got the DPC. Manhole cover wants cleaning off. So, and they've got to about here. And then obviously the heavens have opened, so we've just got to finish that bit and then the steps up to there. So in here you can actually see that we've got cables, we've got pipes running up there, and then they're in the roof and they need connecting up and teeing in to the radiator that's upstairs. But it's put the pipes in, keep saying cables, I don't know why. We've put those pipes in, just left them coiled up there, so, and he hasn't come back. So this is one of the major issues with plumbers, especially subcontract plumbers. They take on far too much work. Instead of just being upfront with you and saying, sorry, I haven't got the capacity to do that, they'll take on the work, they'll come and start it, so it's in their catalogue, and then they'll just finish it whenever the fuck they feel like it. So we're left hanging now. As you can see, everything in here is all boarded, but can't finish the ceiling. So luckily lads are skimming in the other room. They've got something to do because they can't be outside doing the flags because it's just absolutely tipping it down. So these are the problems that you get. You can project manage, you can sequence, you can plan to the best of your ability. If people don't keep to that plan, obviously things are going to go tits up. So that's it for today. So done pretty much a full day on site with the lads. It's been emotional. It's hard work when you come back. Obviously I've got my own way of working. I've been working in the way I work for 30 years. Bar the fact that I've been in the office now for the past couple of years. But when I come on site, obviously they've got their own way of working. we clash a little bit sometimes because, yeah, just what I want the job to the best standard possible. And I guess they do as well, but yeah, they've got their own little ways of working. But yeah, I've done a full day, managed to get that little side extension fully plastered. We've done some patching, done the hot and cold water, got that sorted out. Just waiting on the gas fitter now to just come and sort the radiators out so we can actually finish off in the kitchen. Oh, what a day. So, this is the bit that people just don't show you about running a construction company. So, as you seen this morning, I went out and it was dark. And it's kind of, what time is it now? It's 10 to 6. I'm just getting back in and it's also dark. So, you'll understand from the first two videos that I put out that I'm kind of half on and half off the tools. So, the majority of the time I'm in this office because I've just got far too much to do to be on the tools, but sometimes I just get dragged back in, and I think I allow myself to get dragged back in for some reason. So I think it's this control thing where you're just used to being in control so as you can control the finish of a project, and handing it over to other people and kind of accepting that they're never going to give your 100% because it's not their company. So you've got to be satisfied with maybe 80% of your 100%. But sometimes you get dragged back on site. Obviously, we've had that issue where struggling to get my plumber out there. So we've used another plumber where, we've basically had his recommendation from Facebook. And he's been, you know what I mean, and he started the radiators, but he was supposed to come back again today to finish off so we could plasterboard the ceiling. And I got a call this morning just to say that he wasn't coming, he needed to finish the job off, and then he was going to come to us tomorrow morning. So I've had to go and sort the hot and cold water out so the lads can get done, basically. So I just thought, while I'm there, I might as well give them a full day. And you can see the state of me, you know what I mean? I've been plastering with them. I'm not a plasterer. My trade is carpentry and joinery by, you know, it goes back a long time. But over the years, when I was running this building company, you know, when I was on site and it was just me and a couple of lads originally, you know, and we used to just turn extensions and loft conversions out to a very high standard, but it was me who was doing the majority of the work. So going from that point of being on site with a few lads, running your own jobs, just running one job at a time, to moving over to being in the office, but having enough lads on site to be able to afford, you know, the company can afford for you to be in the office and still pay you a wage, is difficult to say the least. And it's the one thing that I've always found the most difficult, having the right amount of cash flow to be able to take people on. Now, we all know, and you've probably seen it, we used to have Haley in that seat. Now, I need to take someone on to do the admin stuff, but it's me that's holding myself back. Are you with me? I always worry about cash flow. Sometimes it's tight, sometimes it's okay. At the moment, it's quite tight because the work is dropping off because of what the government are doing at the moment. So I kind of get in my own way. Are you with me? Really, I need someone. Probably turn a lot more over if there was someone in that seat. And it's the same with the project manager. I need a project manager, but we need more reliable lads on site. The lads I've got are brilliant, but they just work in their own way. And sometimes I will find 4 of them doing a 2-man job, which obviously poses a massive problem with the way of, you know, cash flow, the amount that they're earning. Me paying them their wages doesn't compensate for the amount of money that they're bringing in by doing that 4 men up kind of thing. So it's very difficult, and I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm still no expert. So this is why I turn to some people. One of the people that I've been turning to recently for a bit of help is a lad named Chris from Every Trade. He's been really helpful, to be fair. He's quite a bit younger than me. I think he's about 40. I'm knocking on for 47. So I've got 7, maybe 8 years on him, because it's my birthday soon again. So yeah, it's difficult to say the least, and these times are very stressful. Purely down to that, you go out when it's dark, come in when it's dark, and you just feel constantly knackered. And it's very, 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 I don't know what the word is, but it plays on your mental health massively. You know, I don't get depressed, but I really do get like beaten down sometimes by the sheer amount of volume of tasks and things that I have to do, to the point where I'm sat at that desk sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, but yeah, I think now it's time to get upstairs, get in that bath, just sit and relax for half an hour, and then maybe get back in that seat and just get some admin done. And that's the reality of it, guys. If you want to run a construction company, you've got to be prepared to bust your bollocks for the love of it sometimes. Welcome to Friday morning, guys. So I'm not 100% sure what we've got on today. I've got to go through the diary. Slept in a little bit this morning due to the fact that I was working quite late last night, just boring admin stuff, bookkeeping, changing over system stuff, just general boring shit basically. But yeah, I think it was gone 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock last night when I closed the laptop. So yeah, getting here now. I'm slate this one is for me. It's like 20 to 8, so that's a late start really, normally. So yeah, just need to get into my diary now, just to have a look at what's going on today, work out where we are, and then yeah, just crack on with it basically. So I'm gonna go have a brew first. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes these mornings are difficult. So, and it's about mindset, and it's about being able to push forward when sometimes you just don't feel like it. Tell you with me, regardless of the wins and the falls and stuff like that, it gets difficult sometimes because, you know, the sheer volume of the amount of stuff that just is on your plate just gets difficult. So, like I've said to you guys, when I started this channel, I want it to be the truth about what it's like to run a building company in today's age. You know what I mean? Of rising costs, rising labour costs, rising material costs, you know, running costs, things like insurance, things like compliance. It's so difficult now. So, and sometimes I get to this point where I just think, I mean, what's the point sometimes? But you know there is, you know what I mean? You have these times, so you've just got to try and push through it. And like I said, I want to be real on this channel. So, but let's get the diary open, see what we've got on today. I've normally got an idea the night before, but like I say, I pretty much fell asleep last night with a laptop. But yeah, let's crack on. And that's pretty much it for this week, guys. So I haven't done much filming today because it's been basically me in the office doing boring admin tasks. But we will be back next week, same time, same place. I do appreciate you watching, but it would mean an absolute world if you could give this video a like. I want to set an aim really of getting 20 likes on this video. And also, if you want to subscribe, that helps us a lot as well, guys. Basically drop down below, hit the subscribe button, but make sure you hit the little bell icon too, because that'll give you a notification of when our next video is out. If you want to watch the first video that we ever put out, have a look up there. And if you want to watch the last week's video, have a look up there. And I'll see you again, guys. See you next week.